Bismillah. A small video clip, but due to the shortage of time, you have other pressing engagements where you have to go. So I'll just go over the salients of the brief that I wanted to present to you. Next. 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 So Pakistani floods started since 14. दिखा देते हैं सर वो दिखाते सर दिखाई नहीं जरा
आपको ये बताते चलें कि अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा के सेक्रेटरी जनरल इस वक्त मौजूद हैं नेशनल फ्लड रिस्पांस कोऑर्डिनेशन सेंटर में और हालिया सैलाब की तबाहकारियों और ऐसे में इसके रिलीफ के काम के हवाले से उन्हें ब्रीफिंग दी जा रही है। इससे पहले वज़ीर-ए-आज़म की जानब से ये कहा गया कि यूएन सेक्रेटरी जनरल गुतेरेस की पाकिस्तान आमद का खैर मकदम करते हैं।
More than 1,300 persons have died, including 400 children. Over 12,000 people have been injured. Millions of people have been displaced. Nearly 2 million homes have been destroyed. The majority of the people affected are deprived of basic health facilities and medicines. Around 600,000 women are expected to give birth without medical care. Crops, livestock, and communication infrastructure have been severely damaged. Sadly, the number of casualties and injuries is expected to increase. The devastating carnage Pakistan has experienced is a direct consequence of climate stress. The amount of rainfall in Pakistan this year has never been witnessed before. Rainfall this monsoon season has been 170% higher than the 30-year average. Some areas have experienced 700% more rain than average. These relentless torrential rains have caused devastating flash floods, hill torrents, and urban flooding. For a country that emits less than 1% of global greenhouse gases, our climate vulnerability is unfairly high, ranking among the top 8 climate-impacted countries in the world. The federal and provincial governments have been executing rescue and relief operations tirelessly, with support from the armed forces. The Prime Minister of Pakistan has formed a National Flood Response and Coordination Centre, which he is heading himself, to ensure effective implementation and coordination of relief and rehabilitation efforts. However, given the unprecedented size of the calamity, the resources currently available to the government of Pakistan are not enough. Help and assistance are arriving from friendly countries and multilateral partners. The NGOs are playing their part too. Together, we can raise the required funds for food, water, medications, and tents to help provide immediate relief to those affected by floods and to help them get back on their feet.
So as you would have seen, that there is a huge calamity which has befallen Pakistan. And in this huge calamity, the problem that has come is because of the rains that were 5 times higher than what we normally expect. If you see, in Sindh province, normally it would have been just 35 to 50 millimeters of rain in a complete season. And this year, it has been over 600 millimeters on the average, which is 508% higher than the average rainfall. This is also because of the changes that are occurring because of the ENSO and the Equino, and this has a strong bearing on the monsoon region. Next. So this map would show you what kind of rainfall we have received. If you would just remain on the red, you will find that this is the entire Sindh province. And in the north, you have the KPK. Both of them have received over 500 millimeters of rain, and at one place it was 752. This is near the world record of rain at any one place. We have had 5 spells till now. Next. So this purple will show you where water is standing as of now. This is in itself a complete lake, 100 kilometers wide. Differentiation between the Indus River and this place is near impossible. Next. If we compare it to the previous calamities, we had a loss of $5.2 billion in the earthquake of 2005, and the floods of 2010, which were 1/8 of this calamity, were 12 to 43 billion. This time, 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater. The losses will be much higher and much bigger. Next. So the area that we have underwater is bigger than UK, New Zealand, Portugal, Ecuador, or the states of Michigan and Colorado of the US. As you can see, we have lost 750,000 livestock as of now, and huge tracts of land, around 4 million acres, are underwater, which will affect our crops. Next. It is provisionally estimated that over $30 billion would be lost in this catastrophe. Next. Coming over to the Sindh province, as I've already shown, almost entire Sindh is underwater, and large tracts have water over 6 to 8 feet. Once this started, 9 locations were underwater, but now at 2 places, the national railway track is underwater, and we cannot run the national rail from Islamabad to Karachi. Next. This will just give you a glimpse of the water. If you could see Hamal Lake on 4th August, and now on 28th August, it seems that the entire area is Hamal Lake. Similarly, Kambar Shadat Kot, Shikarpur are all underwater. Next. So in the other provinces, we are out of rescue, but in Sindh, we are still continuing to do the rescue operations because the water is flowing downwards and has gone to Manchar Lake, which is the biggest freshwater lake in Asia. This lake has burst at 3 places, and its water is now flowing towards the Indus. Today in the morning, we had to make a cut on the national railway line as well as the N55 to make the water go towards the Indus. We are hopeful that in the next week or so, the situation will start stabilizing, but for 1 week, we have 160,000 people still in the area. Next. In the south of Sindh, the LBOD is carrying a large amount of water, but our districts are still underwater. And in Badin, the LBOD has broken its banks and is flooding the areas beside it. Next. So this is Mohenjo-daro, the oldest site in Pakistan, 5000 BC. It has undergone 740 millimeters of rain. The great stupa of Mohenjo-daro is crumbling because of this very rain. Next. So these are the damages in Sindh. Next. In Balochistan, you would see red and pink. These are the districts which have been affected. 4 districts are still underwater. At the start of the floods, Balochistan was cut off from the nation. All national highways were cut off. But with hard work and effort, we have been able to restore that link in the last month or so. Next. Now, we are left with only 3 places, and the major problem is with the Mach bridge, which collapsed. And till that bridge is constructed, no railway traffic can run from anywhere in Pakistan to Quetta. Next. Next. So this is the condition of the railway lines. Next. In KPK, a large area was affected, 17 districts, in which We still have water in 2, and the rest have been cleared. Sir, on your arrival today, we had one last location opened up at Kalam. Next. Next. Kalam has been opened today, sir, in the morning. Next. These are just a few glimpses of what happened. Next. In Punjab, it was only basically 2 major districts where only at one place we have standing water. Rest Punjab is doing well. Next. This was the water which stood in different areas. Next. Rajan, you would see, sir, it has still water standing over there. Next. In GB and AJK, the rainfall was less due to climate change. This is the area which traditionally got rain, but this year there hasn't been any much rain in the area. Next. This was hill torrents which were taking away everything. Wherever it rained profusely. And at other places in AJK, no rain. Mangla Dam is presently at 50% capacity, while at other places we have almost 10 times worth of water standing at different places. Next. Next. So in response to this, the Prime Minister had ordered the setting up of the National Flood Response and Coordination Center. Our mandate is to synergize and articulate the national flood effort. And we are doing it through assessment, coordination, forecasting, and lastly, policy recommendations. Next. So this is the organization where all stakeholders are a part of it. Ministers of the government, as well as provincial governments are part of it, and of course, the military. Next. This is the military organization. Next. So the relief efforts that have taken place till now, we have already issued 2,98,000, but this is just a drop in the bucket. Perhaps much more is required. Next. Similarly, we are receiving help from our international bodies as well as our friends all over the world, including UAE, China, Uzbekistan, Qatar, France, Jordan, USA, and of course, the UN is always at the front of all these things. Next. This is what is all arriving in the next coming days. Next. We have also established a number of relief camps and medical camps. Next. And collection centers. The army is collecting at a number of places from where we transport this to the areas affected. Next. And this is all that we have transported till now. Next. Some glimpses of the relief effort going on. Next. 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 Sir, we have done a lot of coordination with OCHA, and last week we had a coordination conference over here in which we called all the major NGOs and as well as the NGOs and under the auspices of the UN in certain areas. Next. Sir, we have started the joint survey in Balochistan. It has started in GB, Punjab and KPK. It will start by Monday. And Sindh, because we are still in the rescue phase, will start once the rescue phase is over. Next. So the Prime Minister of Pakistan has very kindly given 28 billion rupees to the BISP, which has, out of which 20 billion has already been distributed to the people at 25,000 rupees per household, and this is being increased to 70 billion, and which will provide almost 1.5 million families will be provided this money. In addition, waiving off of the electricity bill in all those areas where there is water standing, and deferment of payment of agriculture loans, which will be approximately 52 billion rupees once it is done. Next. Sir, we have already seen how we are looking at it. Next. The concept is very simple, sir. We are in a rescue phase in Sindh, but in other areas we have gone to relief, and we will go to rehab and reconstruction. At present, we require tents, we require mosquito nets and food. But once we go to the rehab stage, we have to reconstruct in major areas disaster-resistant structures for which help would be required from the international community. Next. So this is the plan of action which has been approved by the Prime Minister and which we will be following to the hilt. We have already we are already in the rescue. I feel that another 2-3 weeks this will continue. We will go to relief. Relief will last in certain areas even up to 6 months because of the standing water. And then the survey is going on, which will complete by the end of October in most areas. And from then on, we will move forward. Infrastructure is being opened as we speak, and very few areas are left. While the national infrastructure, we would like to rehabilitate some of the national highways and the railway line. And now, sir, this last aspect of compensation is already in full swing. As I said, the Prime Minister has already given the money, and 20 billion has already been distributed. The rest will be distributed in this month or so. Next, please. Sir, our lines of effort include immediate relief, damage assessment, survey of infrastructure, and then redesigning of infrastructure. And then we will carry out studies of long-term weather effects so that we can do construction of disaster-resistant structures. And of course, one of the most important things that we have learned from these floods is restoring the drainage system, which we will go after in a big way. Next. Sir, this NFRCC basically ensures better coordination between Federation and provinces, ensures efficient relief distribution. And of course, we are facilitating the NGOs, correct damage assessment, and of course, data correction and uniformity would be there. We want immediate road and railway connectivity. Hopefully, we will have railway connectivity in the next 2 to 3 days. And of course, the credible joint survey. Next, please. And we are preparing the health response plan, the food security plan, the draining system rehabilitation, education in displaced areas, and of course, improved information flow. Next. So thank you very much, sir. That is all from my side.